welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shibani Gharat. Advertising holding company Omnicom recently formed Omnicom Advertising Services with DDB Mudra, BBDO and TBWA under one roof and named Aditya Kanthy as CEO of the newly formed Omnicom Advertising Services Group in India. Kanthy will oversee Omnicom's creative agencies in the region, focusing on talent, cross-agency collaboration and innovation to drive growth in one of the company's fastest growing markets, according to the holding company's chairman and CEO, John Wren. To tell us more about this, we are catching up with Aditya. He is also sharing with us the plan going forward with this new structure and with increasing nervousness with regards to consolidation and mergers in the ad fraternity. How did the leadership respond to the news? Aditya, welcome to CNBC TV18.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about creating Omnicom Advertising Services, where you have BBDO, TBWA and DDB Mudra under one umbrella. What was the thought behind this and what were the kind of conversations that you had with the HQ, with John Wren?
There are a few component pieces that are driving the strategic move and this focus. One of which, perhaps the most important of which, is the importance of India as an engine for growth for Omnicom globally. Right? John has publicly stated his commitment to this market, both as a local market for us to compete in and win, but also as a source of talent for global markets.
Sure.
Right? And I think these two pieces and a belief that each of our component agencies will get stronger with the kind of a more consolidated, more coordinated effort with Omnicom, both within India and globally, is what has guided this thinking. So it's a combination of what we need to do to be able to win here more consistently and to fulfill on this local market's potential, but also what is, I think, a really exciting opportunity for talent in this country to be able to serve a great international, global opportunity through these incredible creative networks.
Clients have responded well. It's a couple of days.
It's early days, but I think we've the early feedback from clients has been good. It is in many ways in line with what clients are expecting of us, and clients are preparing their own journeys for the future as well. And I think this combination of creative brilliance, which is what the BBDOs, the TBWAs and the DDBs of the world have been known for decades now, right?
Sure.
For doing the best creative work in the world. And that's what we do here in India as well. Marrying that with the rest of the funnel, right?
Yeah.
Being able to do that in a more seamless way, closer interaction with our media partners, closer interaction with all of the other elements that go into delivering a brand's experience in its fullest.
Yeah.
I think that piece is a piece that clients have been grappling with too, right? And every company has its own answer to that question. This is ours.
Tell me first, how have the agency leaders responded, to this announcement? At a time also, interestingly, this announcement came in at a time when we heard like a couple of changes at WPP as well, and a lot of conversation on mergers and consolidation happening around in the advertising industry over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So how have your agency leaders at Omnicom responded to this?
Yeah, it's been positive. This is very much about doubling down on the distinctive cultures and the presence of the individual agency brands.
Yeah.
I understand the other perspective, right?
There's a lot of fear amongst the agencies right now.
Perhaps in a situation where the guiding principle is, as you put it, consolidation or merger. The guiding principle here is quite different. It is the belief that these three agency brands are thriving, are strong, are relevant, and that they need to be invested in, and that they need to, and that is the design of this structure, which is that the rest of Omnicom, both in India and abroad, will make these three brands stronger in the local market. And I think with that kind of an approach, you have a very different perspective and read on why we're doing what we're doing. And in fact, if anything, there's optimism and excitement to say that we're able to now, as TBWA or DDB or BBDO, be able to take to clients a set of capabilities and offerings in a way which we haven't, which our competitors perhaps will struggle with.
But tell me, because of these concerns, did you, as a leader, at any point in time, had to reassure the leadership and had to reassure the talent that yes, your individual brands will be maintained within this new structure?
It's been communicated all along, I think, in Omnicom's history, that Omnicom as a holding group believes in the power of the individual agency brands. It's the founding myth, as it were, of the holding company. Right through the 80s and the 90s, you will have seen that it's a light touch always at a holding group level. And that is the reason why on the creative services side, these three agency networks have done as well as they have. You will have seen that in all of the metrics that you measure a creative business with, right? Whether it is growth, whether it is the ability to be able to attract great talent, what our clients make of us, and our performance at the industry benchmarks, right? Cannes, Spikes, what have you. This has happened mainly because there's a very clear commitment within the Omnicom structure of the respect for strong individual agency brands. So I think that's an important part of the equation. Equally, it's been tried and tested and done with success in Omnicom Media Group, right?
Yeah.
So we've seen that play out, and it has resulted in the creation and transformation of that media business on the back of very, very exciting media brands like PhD, OMD, and Hearts and Sciences. So there is a precedent as well, right? And there's a strong principle guiding the thinking and a precedent within Omnicom of how this can work. So I think it makes it a little bit easier, and for everyone to focus on the excitement and the potential for growth when we organize ourselves in this form.
Yeah, and what are the short-term plans and the long-term goals under the new structure that you have as a leader?
Well, there's a lot to do, right? And I think the most important, as I've said earlier in this conversation as well, is to ensure that we do whatever it takes to invest in the three agency brands and their growth, right? And there are different ways in which we could potentially do that. One of which is to identify clients that will benefit from now and in the future the skill sets residing within Omnicom outside of the creative agency networks, right? That will benefit clients. So I think that's an immediate first step. I think the second really important opportunity, which is clear and present, is particularly with Omnicom's stated commitment on tripling its workforce in India, is on the talent side, is to look at all of the ways in which these very attractive local agency networks and Omnicom's reputation as being the most creative company in the world can be harnessed to bring in the best talent in this country, wherever it is in Omnicom that it makes sense for it to happen, including on the global delivery side, right? So I think these are two very immediate areas of focus. And then there are lots of foundational aspects of agency management, including our push in sustainability, our push in diversity and inclusion, where there are pockets of excellence within Omnicom that we can all learn from and grow from by applying that at scale, right? And I think that's the third, perhaps more medium to kind of long-term work that we will do as Omnicom together in India.
To an extent, Omnicom with this new structure with the creative agencies is slightly late to the party because WPP has been doing it for years now. Publicis Group with its Publicis One, has been doing it again for past couple of years. As the leader of this new entity, Aditya, what according to you are some of the learnings and mistakes that, you want to take into account while stepping into the new role?
Without reflecting on whether it's late or early, because I do believe that we are ahead of time on this journey. And the reason is because you would have experienced this with some of our competitors as well.
Sure.
Is that a structure and a system of this nature only works when the components are strong. And I think in that, Omnicom is unique. I think we are privileged to have a roster of individual agency brands across the full spectrum that are amongst the strongest in this local market and the strongest in the world. And without that, no amount of holding group, organization, or posturing makes any real difference. Not to our clients, not to our people. And I think in that, we are both well positioned and early to the party, because we believe that we're at a point in time where all of the capabilities that are meaningful and relevant to our clients are housed in very, very strong teams and structures that we can now start to join the dots on in a way that fully prepares us for the opportunities that our clients are forcing. It's quite different, I think, from the approaches of other companies in our industry and category. And I think it's distinct and strategically different, but more powerful in my view.
Aditya, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Shibani, and thank you for the conversation.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we have Harsh Razdan, Dentsu's new South Asia CEO, speaking about his vision for Dentsu moving forward and plans to revive the agency group.